I'm getting some of the framing done now. The local mill where I plan to get some square timbers, they're all short on their supply stock, so I ended up getting poles, fence posts and poles to fit in to hold the main beam up. I did have a couple 6x6s for the ridge beam, but the rest all I could get was poles. I still need some timbers to frame up this side where the sun's going to be shining through on the greenhouse, but so far they didn't have them yet either. I might have to substitute something. The rest of the 2x4s, there is a supply of them now, so I wasn't having problems getting 2x4s. I got the one side of the roof framed up. For the light side of the greenhouse, where the light comes in, I'll have to make up some timber trusses to go across the front here, and I got a pattern set up there, so that'll be the angle of the roof. And the ceiling peak is about 11 feet tall. And it looks pretty cool with those rounded timbers. It worked out pretty good. The wall plates, I just use bridge planks. I put lap joints on them to secure them together. And I'll have stone on the outside. I probably won't get to that till next year. And the entry ceiling, I just made use of fence slats again. They seem to be pretty handy, inexpensive. And I had to use a fence post for the joist to hold the ceiling up. That looks pretty cool. We have a little bit of rain, that's why you see some moisture on top of them, but I'm working on the roof up there now. The back side of the greenhouse, I'm just stick framing. 2x4s are available yet, and I can get them. Plywood is getting hard to come by, but I happened to get some just before they sold out, so I got enough to do this roof. I got 5/8, so they were out of everything else, and now they're out of 5/8 too. I'm almost ready for plywood now. I just got square ends on the rafter tails. And I'm just putting some blocking in to block up the eaves. And for venting on the eaves, I'm just using some ridge vent that I cut in half. And I'll put that on the ridge too. The other half will be on the ridge. And that's what I'm going to use for ventilation between the insulation and the top of the roof. And I got to get my scaffold out of there yet too. I don't have what I'm going to use for fascia, so I'll have to put that on later. But I'm going to take advantage of this nice weather, put plywood on. Just got to put some little helpers on. What's nice about 5/8 is you don't have to use those clips for between the rafters, that span between the rafters. You don't have to use those clips. Makes it easier, especially when you're working alone. Building the roof on the back side of the greenhouse went pretty quickly compared to laying up cement blocks. I had 5 bundles of shingles left over from the house I wanted to use up, and I wanted to match the color with the new ones, so the new ones are the same brand, the same color, but now the measurements are different on the new shingles compared to the old ones. The shingles from the house are about probably, I think, 4 years old. And somewhere between then and now, they changed the measurements. The manufacturer changed the measurements on their new shingles, so they didn't match up just exactly. Kind of hard to keep the rows straight, but it turned out pretty decent. And I'm pretty satisfied the way the east vent turned out. I don't think any bugs can get through there. On the barn, I used this regular aluminum venting, and we can get plagues of Asian beetles this time of year, and they can fit through that venting on the barn, but they can't get through here. So it turned out pretty good. If you find these videos interesting, please subscribe and like. Thanks for watching. Did you lay an egg?